I always thought heartbreak would arrive like a storm, loud, violent, impossible to ignore. But when mine finally came, it didn't come with thunder. It came quietly, slipping into my life on an ordinary Tuesday afternoon, disguised as a simple notification on my boyfriend's iPad. Ethan had always made me feel a little crazy. Not in a dramatic way, more like an expertly executed, slow-burn type of manipulation. Every time I voiced a concern, he'd smirk, laugh softly, and say, "You're being dramatic again, babe." It sounded gentle, almost affectionate. But beneath it was this cold, sharp edge that told me he never took my feelings seriously. For 4 years, I convinced myself that was normal, that this was what relationships looked like, that being dismissed, ignored, and minimized was somehow just something everyone put up with. I told myself he was stressed, busy, tired, anything to avoid the truth. The truth being, Ethan never actually saw me as a partner. He saw me as someone convenient. That day, I was making dinner. I picked up his iPad to check a recipe, something I'd done 100 times. The screen opened instantly. He never bothered setting a password on it. That's how confident he was, how sure he was of his control. His messages were already open, and at the very top was a conversation with a name I recognized, Charlotte, the girl he told me not to worry about. At first, I didn't react. My mind didn't even register what I was seeing. But then I saw the photos, the inside jokes, the late-night messages, the plans, the intimacy. My chest tightened so hard it felt like my ribs were collapsing inward. Then I saw the message that changed everything. "Don't worry, she's too emotional to ever figure anything out." She, meaning me. I remember standing there holding the iPad and feeling something inside me switch the naive, forgiving part of me. She died instantly. I didn't drop the iPad. I didn't gasp. I didn't cry. Instead, I finished cooking dinner. I set the table. I smiled when he walked in. I kissed him back when he leaned down to kiss my cheek. Inside, a quiet clarity bloomed. Ethan believed I was too soft, too emotional, too fragile to ever fight back. He believed I'd cry, beg, forgive, and repeat the cycle. Men like him always believe that, and that belief is exactly what destroys them. I decided not to confront him. Not then. Not ever. He didn't deserve the dignity of a confrontation. He didn't deserve an explanation, a dramatic scene, or even the satisfaction of seeing my pain. What he deserved was silence and consequences. For the next 2 weeks, I played my role perfectly. He thought he had fooled me, so he became sloppy. He left his phone face up. He took longer showers while texting her. He smiled at messages he refused to show me. It didn't hurt anymore. Once the illusion breaks, the pain loses power. I studied him the way a scientist studies a deadly organism, carefully, without emotion, and with cold precision. I learned everything I needed to know. His passwords, his emails, his schedule, his finances, his weak spots. I didn't hack anything. I didn't invade privacy. I simply waited, watched, listened. When someone thinks you're stupid, they reveal more than they should. Ethan revealed everything. And then I built my plan. A sweet revenge is not loud, angry, or messy. A sweet revenge is quiet, patient, and perfectly timed. I waited until his biggest real estate deal, a project he had been bragging about for months, was finally at the point of needing signatures from all partners. He had spent weeks telling everyone how he was the backbone of the deal, the reason it would succeed. He needed everything in his life to look perfect, stable relationship, supportive girlfriend, successful career, flawless image. I didn't hack anything. I didn't invade privacy. I simply waited, watched, listened. When someone thinks you're stupid, they reveal more than they should. Ethan revealed everything. And then I built my plan. A sweet revenge is not loud, angry, or messy. A sweet revenge is quiet, patient, and perfectly timed. I waited until his biggest real estate deal, a project he had been bragging about for months, was finally at the point of needing signatures from all partners. He had spent weeks telling everyone how he was the backbone of the deal, the reason it would succeed. He needed everything in his life to look perfect. Stable relationship, supportive girlfriend, successful career, flawless image. And that's exactly what I gave him, until the moment it mattered most, a week before the final signing. I emailed his partners, not as myself, simply forwarding the screenshots he had accidentally backed up to our shared cloud, screenshots of him and Charlotte. Screenshots of him bragging about how he was playing both sides of the deal. Screenshots of him admitting he planned to push one partner out at the last minute. Everything he thought he was too smart to get caught doing. I didn't add any commentary, no explanation, no message. Just the truth. And truth is more destructive than any lie. Within 24 hours, the entire deal collapsed. His partners froze him out. Investors pulled out. His mentor blocked his number. His company began an internal investigation. And Ethan? He spiraled. He came home furious, slamming doors, pacing, muttering to himself. He kept saying things like, "Someone betrayed me," and "someone set me up." I just watched. He never once suspected me. Why would he? I was too emotional to ever figure anything out. That night, he looked at me with panic in his eyes. "Everything's falling apart," he whispered. "I need you." But that's the thing about betrayal. Once someone breaks you, you're never theirs again. I slept beside him, feeling nothing, not anger, not sadness, just peace. The next morning, I cooked him breakfast. I hugged him before he left. I told him, "Everything will make sense soon." He kissed my forehead and thanked me for being understanding. While he was at work, I packed my things. Not dramatically, not hurriedly, just methodically, quietly, efficiently. I cleaned the apartment, organized everything, and left the key on the counter. Then I placed the iPad beside it, with the messages he forgot to delete still open on the screen. No note, no goodbye, no explanation, just silence. The kind of silence that screams the truth. When he came home, I imagine the realization hit him all at once. The empty apartment, the open messages, the collapse of his career. I wasn't there to see it. Sweet revenge doesn't need an audience. 2 days later, he tried to call. I didn't answer. Then he texted long paragraphs, apologies, excuses, promises I didn't reply. When someone finally understands your worth and you no longer need their validation, that is the sweetest revenge of all. Weeks passed. then months. One night, out of curiosity, I looked him up. He had lost his job. His deal reputation was ruined. His new relationship with Charlotte had already ended. Apparently, she couldn't handle the stress. I closed my phone and smiled. Not because I wanted him to suffer, not because I wished him pain, but because life has a way of returning what people give. He gave lies, manipulation, disrespect, and in return, he lost everything he manipulated to have. As for me, I built a new life, a peaceful one, a quiet one where my emotions aren't weapons used against me. People think revenge is loud, dramatic, fiery, explosive. But the sweetest revenge is none of those things. It's simply walking away with your self-respect intact, while the person who underestimated you finally realizes you were the one thing in their life they never should have broken.